So good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another scene for the living world of darkness, rage across New York, where we have this gaggle of motherfuckers who have just gone into the city and muscled around some poor bottom tier drug pusher, gone and talked to his next up, found out about some shit, and well, now we're going to come back to that coffee bar that is owned and mostly patronized by Ken. But, you know, it is just across the street from the Sept, and normal people do occasionally wander in. So when the owner sees us come back in, it's a pretty good assumption that we get that little meeting room in the back. The what we don't actually call the "Hey Garu, don't scare off all my customers" room. That one. But hey, on the bright side, we get like coffee and stuff, and lattes and fancy things with whipped cream or what have you, and ushered into this back room to chit-chat about our things in a place where there will be no prying ears or prying cameras.
Yeah. Chloe ended up with a chai, and she usually ends up with a very big muffin. Probably blueberry. And yeah, totally just kind of drops herself into whatever sort of seating is back there. I'm not making any assumptions on the luxury of the situation. And just kind of begins sort of picking at the muffin, looking like she has more on her mind than just a muffin.
Yeah, Raphael for his part is just going on with beer because he doesn't want to be triggered by coffee.
Aiden's got a Danish beer and rolling a cigarette in the process of rolling a cigarette.
It's one of those coffee places
that has a secret stash of beer.
Well, I mean, there's some around here that do like local beers and coffee. It's super hipster, but you know what? It works. So,
I mean, I'm personally
than we gave it credit for.
I mean, I'm personally going by the French definition of a coffee, which means that they serve you beer.
Yep. Hayden's not going to say no to alcohol.
I mean, we all know that alcohol and Garu works best together.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. Now, with 10 Point being, for all intents and purposes, immune to the alcohol/caffeine she's going to get from one drink either way, she has like some ridiculous coffee that has God knows how many flavors in it, but there's a mountain of whipped cream on top, and she's very entertained with it. So, yeah, she'll plunk down with that.
So, Staten Island, again.
It's a place full of hugs.
I guess.
Do you? No, I think I think it's pretty clear we're going to have to do something about some of that shit in Staten Island. Even if there aren't spirals there, which is a good question, but in theory we defeated them, right?
We pushed them back, right? There's still spirals. There's still probably a tainted cairn in there somewhere.
Oh, the cairn I'm sure is there.
So they're not gone. Surely they still have a bond. Surely they still have kin. They're just pushed back into their own borders.
They're just using a more covert method now rather than openly trying to attack us.
And try to make some cash in the process.
Or there's also the solution that those are just coincidental.
Oh, they said they were selling it cheap. They're probably not even trying to make money off of it.
No, they're just jacking the market to make sure it sells.
Or they're trying to get people to love it so much that they'll suddenly jack up the price later.
There's that too.
I mean, that's the basic. Even if it's in reality, you're supposed to give it for free the first time. But that's the idea.
Perhaps it just depends on whether the goal is money or simply to spread the taint that is in those pills and drugs and powders.
Well, they're obviously very interested in not having many people know that journalist is missing. There's two things about Staten Island that, well, I know of since coming here. Either you find the body or they don't. And by the looks of things, we're not going to find her at all.
And
do you want to, Raya?
Well,
would it help? Would there be some kind of proof or something we could get from it?
See, the problem, and he'll takes it as he puts the cigarette behind his ear. The problem is, even if we can't find the body, it'll be pieces. Do you know he kept mentioning chicken wire, right? What happens? What they do is they put the body in the river wrapped in chicken wire. The body gets fat, water enters, the wire destroys the body, and guess what eats the body? Fish. So I very much doubt we'll find anything.
also, I would like to remind people to be wary of water.
Yeah. Obviously, we can't go get it. If we wanted that body, we would probably have to talk to some of our watery friends to do it. Or perhaps ask Tlate to.
And I mean, if you look over at Raphael and Nod, water ain't exactly safe right now at the minute.
Well,
I mean, more around the area of the boat that they have designed as their grotto, as they put it. But I wouldn't really advise tempting fate.
well, if you want it found, Raya, a body is an inanimate object. I can find the point. You can put in an anonymous tip. Make humans recover it.
Problem is, the body might be in several pieces. Might be much use, but we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, unless there's some proof on it that survives a watery grave, I'm not sure there's any real purpose.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
I think probably the safest bet would actually be to find her apartment. They probably went to swoop it, but they might have left things to pick up.
It's a good idea, actually, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good idea. That's what I think we should do. And that shouldn't be hard information to come by. Again, we have a cop who can get access to information like that.
I mean,
if she's in the
probably
system.
she's probably on public record. I'd imagine that she was a journalist, so not like she had a warrant on her or anything, or a criminal record.
No, but she died, and if she's a missing person, probably officially, one or the other. Either way, it would be on that record.
It's not.
And then I think there are two solutions here regarding, well, a little bit more than two, but I think regarding our Albanese, I think either they are all worm tainted by the black spiral dancers, and they are either using them or they are kinfolk, and they are by extension then the next phase of whatever is left of that hellhole. Or the other possibility is that the guy at the head is just a standard corrupt mobster, and the one who's actually dangerous is the cook. Because the cook has to, at least in all case scenario, have to have some knowledge towards the Umbra and the Fomor. Because if he puts down that shit, and that shit is highly tainted, I would expect that it's the cook who actually puts the taint in there.
I mean, you're right. Unless he was simply told what to do and doesn't understand what he's doing it for. Maybe he's paid.
I
mean, he can't be paid, but if I was I was a bad guy and I wanted to control my operation, I would actually ensure that the guy who's at the most critical end of a process is completely subvert on my side.
I'm just throwing out possibilities because just to make the point that we can't assume things.
Of course, we can't assume things, but yeah, I think that at bare minimum, the cook is the one we need to take off, more than the head mobster.
Mobsters can either be bought or put away, so if he doesn't have any significant worm tail on him or he doesn't have any at all, there are simpler means.
And then there's also this lion. If that's a Bastet, which is what I've been just suspicious of that this whole time without any real reason. But if he is, what's he doing in Staten? And even if he's not, then what is his point? What is his goal here?
I guess this is something that we'll have to find out.
And Tempoint, who is probably seated like right up alongside Aiden, has been nodding idly over her coffee and kind of flicks a glance up. I remember hearing about him when we were hunting after Filch. What all do we know? I remember something about Osif planning to do something about the lion.
I remember that as well. Something about that.
She starts digging in her swag.
I'm going to dig up my notes. My OC notes.
Well, my IC notes. Yeah.
Well, these are IC notes, but for me, OC. Just trying to find them.
And yeah, she pulls out like one of those like simple yellow like legal pads that everyone and their mom has. Real cheap, easy to get. And like flicks through a page or two. I have the mention, yeah, in the report where we went to the hotel with Felix. How Osif was talking to what we thought was John Clifford Mason, talking about taking care of the lion.
That's where I heard of him, was actually from John Clifford when we went to hunt him down.
And what did he have to say about him?
I'm digging through my notes because I have a whole bunch. I think he just mentioned him, and he was having trouble himself trying to get a hold of him. Just keeps hearing the name, didn't know what to do with him. Couldn't. I mean, and I've tried using Pulse of the Prey on him, and I get nothing.
That is.
The same thing happened with my sister.
Oh, here. And she'll have flicked another page over. The report that Jacob brought, it did mention going after John Clifford Mason. But, let me see, he's something of a ghost, talking about, Taryn Felch. He's something of a ghost, but gathers a strong following of kin because he's able to offer them wealth. He has command of at least 2 FFS teams working directly for him and used them to keep his allies under control. They've since been arrested and taken out of the picture. Osif and the lion are ghosts as well, hard to track and to spot at all. Osif in a way seems to oppose Filch and is supported by the lion. Osif himself is kin and a Russian mobster, though there's no telling what the lion is. It does seem, though, that Osif is on the lion's payroll.
Yeah. This is the first I've heard of the lion since any of this stuff.
I suppose as much as we might have wished it when we dealt with Filch, the other 2 didn't disappear. Have we heard any more of Osif?
No, I haven't.
Perhaps we might need to look into him and see if we can at least put a track on him. If he meets at all with the lion. Or if we can at least get a beat on him and where he's going, who he's seeing, what he's seeing.
It could be. She glances over to Aiden and past him to Raphael. Could easily be something where the two of you, especially with your gifts, Raya, could at least find out where he is. Shadow at a distance, maybe. See what they're about. We have the names.
Exchange a glance with Raphael. I guess our little Mighty Morphin Power Rangers team got our first mission on.
Yeah, even if I have to say I have a preference for putting people in trunks and then having long conversation with a razor.
I mean, we just have to trail him first, and we can do that after.
It's just
Yeah.
recon.
I think we've established I'm a pretty okay enforcer.
Oh, I'd be no good for that. If you're going to be quiet, sneaking around, best I could do is be posted nearby. Or on
I'm
the other
not-
side.
You can ask Aiden. I'm not that bad at sneaking, although not to your guys' level.
Still, it's something for this new group that you're talking about making.
We've already made it.
Oh,
Did I hear the howl? You look at her, like, smiling.
I've been distracted, Raya.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting howl.
Kind of rubs at her face a bit.
Aiden would stare at her. Yeah.
By the way, 10-point congratulations.
Thank you, Raya.
Been meaning to find you and tell you, but never got around to it.
It was eventful. Oh, though, should your pack, and she kind of glances to Raphael, or yours, need use of it, I acquired, by the end of it, a Bane skin. A smaller one. It can only emulate one Bane. A night hag.
What does it do?
If you wear the Bane skin and travel through the Umbra, the Banes will see you as the Bane whose skin you're wearing. In this case, a night hag.
Oh, that's interesting.
Very interesting.
That kind of makes me miss Chimera even more.
Just kind of an awkward little look down.
Yeah, Chloe's not exactly looking up either. She's kind of remembering a situation in which they took the forms of other things and it helped them blend in. But it is a very useful item, especially now.
Little nod. I may place it in the armory where it's more available to others, but for now I will carry it. I think it is probably about time, especially with so many of us, well, with all of us, going off sept, that the armory be taken proper inventory of and cared for. So I may start looking into that so that we know what we have available to us.
That process isn't as hard necessarily for my pack, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
But still hard for other reasons. So now we're pretty much what? Just waiting to get a call from our new BFF?
Pretty much.
Yeah, even if well, obviously we can always check other things and try to, well, get a few information on our own. But if, of course, discretion is of the uttermost importance.
Of course, and if he's telling us we porcupine as well, I know he has a wife.
I
Best
mean,
not to use that unless it's desperate.
Oh no, never go full tilt unless they push you to. That's just unseemly.
Especially if she doesn't know about any of this.
They always know some way or the other.
Well, I mean, she probably knows what he does. At least I would guess. But maybe not about the tainted and stuff.
Oh, probably no. No, she's just, enjoying the perks of it all. Kind of lean back.
Well, none of us seemed to be judging when we were talking to him. In theory, we could all be judging him. I mean, he's doing illegal stuff. I mean, I'm not going to because I kind of live an illegal life, as do most of you. But that's just the nature of what we do.
Probably a few people who debate otherwise, but hey.
I'm sure you know what I mean. Like illegal in the eyes of the mortal, the human law. I mean, what do? Go around, we break into places, we've been able to torture, we kill.
I don't care much for human law.
Fair enough.
It's not even that. We're fighting a war. Human or no, we all do things, even the humans do things in war that they don't like. Axis subversion, counterterrorism, all this shit. It's all part of it. You do anything to win.
Whether it's a war or not a war isn't really the point, though. The point is that if the cops knew about stuff, they would have reason to come after us. There's a reason why Jacob doesn't announce everything we do to them. I don't think they'd be overly successful unless they figured out about certain of our weaknesses.
You just nod.
All right, so we wait for him to call. And then we go try to nab bigger fish. I'm just trying to think what else we can do.
Well, probably the best thing for myself and Raphael is probably track Osif, see what we can do. Probably have to link up with Jacob on the scouting team, see what we know, pull our resources, lick his lips. He's mentioned several mobsters, but that's the thing. If they're all mob-based, there has to be a cover. And if they're selling tainted stuff, then there has to be a way. And if it is the cook...
And if everybody has the same tainted stuff, I'm thinking there might need to be more than one cook.
Well, you have usually one cook overseeing it, wouldn't you? And then just deposit it into several areas. I mean, you don't need 5 different cooks to make the same thing. You just need one guy who knows the recipe.
Mm-hmm. They may have a place where there are many people preparing it, but if they're preparing it in parts, it means there's only one that knows all of that's happening.
If they were smart, they would keep it as minimal as possible. The fewer people know what's happening, the better, or at least who know the whole story.
I don't know.
I don't know, but I do need to talk to my sisters again. Let them get the word down through the Furykin. And I'll tell my pack so they can pass it on to their various tribekin as well.
Yeah. I'm gonna give a call to my street contact to see what they can find us. I'll contact you later. And with that, he gets up. I guess at some point we will need to make a meeting in that apartment as he looks at Aiden.
Yeah, I mean, I got keys cut for us and all that, so yeah, make yourself at home whenever you need to.
All right, then. I will catch you people later. With that, he will salute and walk off into the
Hey.
distance.
Actually, as Raphael's starting to leave, Raphael,
Freeze.
yeah, pretty much. So just be like, hey, pass it on to your pack mates, so that they can pass it on to their kinfolk as well.
And he will put a hand over his heart. I'm shocked that you would think that children of Gaia kinfolks are a bunch of pothead.
I have a child of Guy in my pack too, and they definitely can be potheads. As she sort of smirks at him.
Yes, I will make sure that all pothead takes from the natural resources and not from the street resources.
Same with Wendigo. As she just looks at him, making sure he doesn't forget anybody.
Yeah, I mean, even if, as far as I know, Gelati doesn't have any kinfolk, but I'll
No.
make sure to find any kinfolk Wendigo.
That would be fine. Yeah. She doesn't tend to like being around kinfolk very much, so.
And he nods. And he will walk away. Walk away. Away.
I just feel like I'm missing something here. And I don't know what it is.
I get the feeling we probably only scratched the surface of this.
Maybe review with your packmate what he knows with the lion and Osif. Because if one is still active, just because we haven't heard of what the other's doing doesn't mean the other's not as well. And in the meantime, we have the Rangers to look in on them. Pick up what bits we might be missing.
Yeah. If there's one thing Jacob is short on, it's not usually ideas or a voice to talk with.
There's kind of that sympathetic little eyebrow left of, yeah.
Goes sort of just smiling because it's true and she doesn't. And she's not insulting him. It's just simply a fact.
It is a fact. It is a true fact.
And she's just going to sort of just lean back in her chair and slowly sip on her chai as she looks very, very thoughtful.
In eventually like pop his cigarette in his mouth and kind of look over at 10 Point.
Jane gives a glance up.
Do you want to head back or? Because I'm going to head back. I got to go talk to some people.
Yeah, tiny nod.
Just nod and kind of scoot his way out and we'll just nod at Chloe. If you get a call, let us know.
If you get a call, let me know.
Yeah, no problem. You just smile wearily and just will kind of walk out on his own, lighting the cigarette as he's walking.
Yep. And 10 Point will follow very close behind. Until next time, Claire.
She'll,
go ahead.
I was gonna say she'll just she nodded to Aiden. She'll smile a little bit more to 10 Point, and just remain where she is until she finishes her chai. But yeah.
Yep, she takes her coffee with her, and while she'll produce a cigarette, she won't light until they're outside.
You can end it there with Chloe sitting there, just sort of in thought.
Mm-hmm. The other two walking back to Sept. And with that, yeah, I'd say that's a good place to say thank you, players, for playing, and watchers for watching. And we will see you next time on the Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York.